In the Bible, we have that the stoning of the woman caught in adultery, or the attempt they were going to stone this woman in adultery. And from what I read, a lot of scholars, they debate whether or not this was an actual text or this was a later addition added by a scribe. And I was going to ask what your opinions on this particular matter were, and how to deal with questions about that, how to deal with that.
That's a great question. And the answer is we don't know a whole lot. What I can tell you is that the majority scholarly opinion right now is that the story of the woman caught in adultery, that Jesus said, you know, he that is without sins, let him cast the first stone, that was not in the original of John. And that's why the brackets are there, and it says this is not found in the oldest or the most reliable manuscripts. Now, that is not to say that the story never occurred. A lot of scholars who think that it didn't appear there in John do think that the story is authentic, but at the end of the day, we just don't know. I have a friend who did his PhD, his doctoral research on this text, and he went into it wanting to show that this was in the original Gospel of John, and he came out saying, I just don't know. So it's hard to say. Maybe it wasn't in the original Gospel of John. Maybe it was in a second edition of the Gospel of John. I'm reading a story right now by a guy named Sid Phillips. He passed away a couple years ago, and he was in World War II, a vet. And I was started reading on the plane ride down here, and he said, you know, as I'm going through this and I'm writing this book, then some other stories come to mind, and I throw it in there. So I go back and I insert these in, he said. So maybe John wrote the gospel, and then later on he thought, oh, I forgot about this story, and in the second edition he included it in. I don't know. Even some people think that, hey, the way that this is laid out is more Lucan, and there are some manuscripts where the story is in Luke, not in John. So we just don't know. We just don't know.